Right now, there are over 5 billion Bluetooth devices in the world, but with Wi-Fi 6 and ultra-wideband taking over, why are we still using a technology from the 90s? Is Bluetooth actually dying? I dug into the data, and the answer is terrifyingly simple.
And what I found might surprise you. Today, we're going back to where it all started, tracking how Bluetooth evolved over 3 decades and answering the big question: does Bluetooth have a future, or is it becoming a relic of the past? Stick around, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where Bluetooth stands. Let's rewind back to the mid-1990s. Mobile phones were still a luxury, the internet was dial-up, and a group of engineers in Sweden had a wild idea. What if devices could talk to each other without wires? In 1994, Dr. Jaap Hartson and his team at Ericsson started working on something revolutionary. They called it Bluetooth, named after Harald Bluetooth Gormson, a Viking king who united Denmark and Norway over 1,000 years ago. The symbolism was intentional. Just as Harald united warring clans, Bluetooth was designed to unite different devices, phones, computers, accessories, under one universal standard. By 1999, the first official Bluetooth specification was published. The wireless revolution had officially begun. But here's what most people don't know. Bluetooth's early days were rough. Version 1.0 was slow. We're talking 732 kilobits per second. To put that in perspective, downloading a single 3-minute song would take nearly a minute. The range? Only 10 meters, about 33 feet. Connection drops were common, pairing was frustrating. Critics wondered if this technology would ever catch on. But the engineers kept pushing. The first Bluetooth headset hit the market, and suddenly people could talk hands-free while driving. It wasn't perfect, but it was a glimpse of a wireless future. Here's where things get interesting. Bluetooth didn't just survive, it adapted. In 2004, Bluetooth 2.0 arrived with speeds up to 3 megabits per second. That's 4 times faster than version 1.0. Then came Bluetooth 3.0, which borrowed Wi-Fi speed when needed for large file transfers. But the real game changer? Bluetooth 4.0 in 2010. This version introduced something called Bluetooth Low Energy, or BLE. It used a fraction of the power, which meant devices like fitness trackers, smartwatches, and heart rate monitors could run for quite a long time on a tiny battery. This single innovation opened the floodgates. Suddenly, Bluetooth wasn't just for headphones anymore. Think about your daily life for a second. Your wireless earbuds, your smart speaker, the fitness band on your wrist, your car's hands-free system, maybe even your door lock or your thermostat. All of them likely use Bluetooth. According to the Bluetooth Special Interest Group, over 4.5 billion Bluetooth devices shipped in 2023 alone. That's not total devices in existence, that's just 1 year of new products. And by 2027, analysts project annual shipments will exceed 7 billion devices. According to Technavio and the Markets and Markets websites, the shipment will include smart locks, medical devices, industrial sensors, gaming controllers, hearing aids, and many more Bluetooth devices connecting our daily digital lives. So why are people questioning Bluetooth's future? Fair question. Wi-Fi 6 offers blazing fast speeds. Ultra-wideband provides centimeter-level location accuracy. Matter, a new smart home standard, promises to unify devices across platforms. Some tech experts have argued that Bluetooth is showing its age. In crowded environments like airports or concerts, connections can get unreliable. Interference from other wireless signals remains an issue. These criticisms aren't wrong, but they miss the bigger picture. Here's the reality. Bluetooth isn't trying to compete with Wi-Fi on speed. That was never the point. Bluetooth's strengths are different. Ultra-low power consumption, simple pairing, universal compatibility, and incredibly low cost to implement. You know what Wi-Fi 6 can't do? Run a heart rate monitor for 6 months on a coin cell battery. Ultra-wideband can't connect to virtually every smartphone on the planet. And here's what the data shows. Bluetooth Low Energy adoption is accelerating, not declining. The technology is expanding into new areas: asset tracking, indoor navigation, electronic shelf labels in retail stores. In 2017, Bluetooth Mesh was introduced, allowing multiple devices to form interconnected networks. This is huge for smart buildings and industrial applications. The Bluetooth Special Interest Group continues to release updates. Bluetooth 5.4, released in 2023, added features specifically designed for IoT and location services.
So to answer the main question, is Bluetooth going extinct? No, not even close. If so, then what's next for Bluetooth? Now, the focus is on coexistence, not replacement. Future devices will likely use multiple wireless technologies together. Your phone might use Bluetooth for your earbuds, Wi-Fi for streaming, and ultra-wideband for precise location tracking, all simultaneously. Bluetooth isn't being replaced, it's finding its place in a larger ecosystem. The technology that started as a simple way to replace cables has become essential infrastructure for billions of devices worldwide. Herald Bluetooth united Scandinavian clans 1,000 years ago. The technology bearing his name has united billions of devices across the globe. And based on everything I've researched, Bluetooth's story isn't ending. It's still being written. I'm pretty sure you've been using it, you are using it, and you're probably gonna use it for a long time. And if you found this video helpful and educative, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel. It really helps the channel to grow and reach broader audience. For more deep dives into technology like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.